Hi, I'm David R. Lewis with Theater of the Mind. Thanks for stopping by for another of my Heartland memories. I want to start this piece by saying that I have a great deal of respect for those men and women who have served or are serving our country in the military. My grandfather fought in France and Germany during World War I, my father on Iwo Jima in World War II. I myself spent a full day and a half in the United States Air Force. I certainly appreciate those who have given even more than their lives, who have had their minds disrupted, deleted, or even destroyed because of the horrors of war. At age 14, I took employment as a bass clarinetist with the Elks Band, a group of fine concert musicians who played in various locations throughout the heartland of America. Our repertoire consisted of classical pieces, the occasional show tune, and patriotic numbers by John Philip Sousa and his ilk. One fine Sunday, all 32 of us climbed aboard the bus and headed for Danville, Illinois, to play a concert at the VA hospital. The director rose to his feet as we neared our destination and cautioned us about the upcoming venue. "We'll park at the back of the auditorium," he said. "Go directly inside. Do not look around. Do not leave the group. Do not talk with any of the inmates." Inmates? I thought. "I'll pass out playlists when we get set up. The program will be very docile. When it's over, pack up and get back on the bus as soon as possible. If there is any trouble, stay together. There's safety in numbers." Safety in numbers? I wondered. I was sitting next to the bassoonist, Long, a member of the band, who explained that this particular veterans hospital housed men who had, for whatever reason, lost their mental stability while in the service of their country. The Elks Band had not played there in over 8 years. The last time they had played there, the director called for some Sousa after his first 2 rather placid selections failed to elicit applause from the 400 or 500 onlookers. When Stars and Stripes Forever lumbered into the section where the trombones come on strong, descending down the scale, an overly excited worthy in the 5th or 6th row, moved by the stirring performance, leapt to his feet. "Kill the bass drummer!" he shouted, and charged the stage. A significant number of his compatriots, equally moved by the music and buoyed by his fearless assault on superior numbers, took up the cause and joined in the rush. Cries of, "Over the top, boys!" and "You want to live forever?" filled the air. Dozens of veterans of the First and Second World Wars and Korea attacked the musicians. The band, with most of their clothes, some of their instruments, and none of their dignity intact, made it out the back door to the waiting bus. Injuries were minor, but the band refused to come back for 8 years. We played the concert, an hour and 20 minutes of things like "Sheep may safely graze and pasture." A truly boring experience. The audience never moved or reacted in any way. Back on the bus and out of danger, a Dixieland jam broke out, and we boogied all the way home. A few years later, a college professor for whom I had a huge amount of respect told me he believed it was in my best interest to leave higher education before I was taught how to think, or rather, not to think. I took him at his word and dropped out of college. Certain members of my family took exception to my escape and pressured me heavily to return to the halls of higher learning as soon as possible. I enlisted in Danville Junior College for a brief time. The year before, Danville Junior College had installed its campus on the grounds of the same veterans hospital where sheep could safely graze and pasture. So could the students, the college propaganda said. The more troublesome inmates of the institution, veteran, not student, had either died off or had been transferred to other locations. The total population was down to about 700 patients, only outnumbering the seekers of education by about 20%. I went to Danville Junior College for a while, passing through the large iron gate, locked and heavily guarded after sundown. and off-limit to the vets. I spent my time during the day moving through the depressing stone buildings, going to class with students who felt and sometimes acted like prisoners. It was not a happy place. A friend there, Jerry Bailey, decided once that since the mental patients outnumbered the rest of us, if majority rule was in effect, we were the ones who were insane the minute we stepped on campus. As time went on, I became convinced he was right. One afternoon, Bailey, me, and two other misfits were walking down the long sweeping drive to the front gate, two abreast, and just naturally fell into step. Down the road we marched for a couple of 100 yards. When we reached the gate and stopped, we noticed a large herd of the vets were right behind us in a column of twos. They also had fallen into step, increasing in numbers as they followed us to the street. There was no guard. The gate was open. Freedom beckoned. Three of us freaked out. Bailey, some years my senior and a Vietnam veteran, remained calm. He looked over the column quietly. "Tit, huh!" he shouted. They snapped to. "How about, hey!" They turned. "Forward, huh! Your left, your left!" The entire assemblage marched away, back up the drive. Bailey looked at me. "Rank tells," he grinned. "I was a corporal." On that day, in that place, with that company, the boy was a full bird colonel. At least, that's how it seems to me. I'm David R. Lewis. Thanks for joining me on Theater of the Mind.